I'm Kevin. I'm 36 years old and I work as an elementary school teacher. My wife and I, as we have not yet started a family, have established a healthy balance in our lives. We both respect each other's individual pursuits and interests while also enjoying joint travel and experiences together. But I'm 36 now and I have to think seriously about having a child. I was going to have a serious talk with Jane about children tonight, but suddenly I found some blood in my stool. I used to be proud of my good physical condition and never had a major health issue. I was thinking about having a child, so I was quite surprised and shocked. I checked the internet and found that it could be colon cancer. If it's cancer, what should I do? I can't help but worry. Today is my day off and Jane is at work. When I'm home alone, all I can think of are the bad things. Finally, my wife got back from work and I felt relieved, with my tensions eased. "Hey, what's up with that somber face?" Jane asked, also surprised. "Actually, I have bloody stools. I've never had this happen before, so I looked it up online and I suspect I have colon cancer." When I told her that, she said, "But it's not for sure yet, is it? It's just a possibility." I felt relieved when Jane said that. "I know, right? It's just a possibility. I'm sorry I'm so distraught, but I think I'll go to the hospital," I said. "Actually, lately, I've been feeling not so well. Everything hurts a little. I'm a little worried, but I hate hospitals, so I don't like going to them." It seems that Jane is also not feeling well. Actually, my wife hates hospitals intensely. She freaks out from just seeing a needle, and although she has been having stomach problems for a while, she has been reluctant to go to the hospital because she's afraid of them. So I convinced my wife, who was scared, to go to the general hospital together. On that day, "Kevin, why don't you stop? My problem is just stress. What does an examination even do? It's not like there's going to be a shot or anything, right?" I finally managed to take Jane, who was reluctant, to go to the hospital. I had discussed my wife's aversion to hospitals with her beforehand, so she was given a quick injection of a small amount of anesthetic and had a gastroscopy done while she slept. Still, she panicked when they injected her with an anesthetic, and the nurses laughed. Somehow, Jane's examination was completely without incident, and it was my turn. My heart was pounding, and I went up to the examination table. Although no bloody stools have occurred since then, I still felt uneasy. I care about the kids in my elementary school and want to have my own kids someday. I prayed it wasn't cancer. I went through the test with this prayer in my heart, and so, my examination was also completed without incident, and we returned home together. It seems that we would find out the results of the examination for both of us in 10 days. "Jane, thanks for your help today. How's your stomach feeling?" I asked. "Well, I sometimes get a little pain, but it's probably just stress. There's no way I would get cancer, right?" Such a carefree attitude. "Don't you think it's worse for you, Kevin? You've been experiencing bloody stools." She said this while giggling. I wasn't sure if she was joking. I frowned a bit. "Don't talk like that. Are you not worried? I already stopped having blood in my stool, and I'm fine," I answered, trying to convince myself. During the 10 days of leading up to the release of examination results, I felt restless and lost the positive outlook I had maintained before. The day before I went to hear the results of the health examinations, I asked Jane sincerely, "I assume you know tomorrow is the day we're going to the hospital to get the results. Did you make sure to take a day off?" My wife responded, "I didn't know that. My stomach pain has already gone away. If you're worried, just go by yourself," she said in an annoyed manner. "You should know about your own body. What would you do if something unexpected happens?" "I don't know." I tried to convince my wife with a half-threatening tone. "I don't have the day off and I'm not going." This seemed to be just an excuse. What was her intention regarding her own health? "You won't know even if something unexpected happens. The time for the examination results is at 4 p.m. Please come and listen properly. I'll be waiting. Hurry up." I took a half day off from the afternoon and left home in a hurry. It was 3:55 p.m. I waited for Jane to come inside the examination room, but there was no sign of her coming. I tried calling, but she didn't answer the phone either. She really didn't want to come hear this. I sighed heavily and went into the examination room alone. When I entered the examination room, "Is it just you alone, sir? Where's your wife?" "I would have preferred if the two of you came to listen to the results together, if possible," the doctor said mysteriously. Upon hearing that, my heart started pounding rapidly. Could it be that I had cancer? While feeling overwhelmed with anxiety, I desperately tried to keep it together. I was barely standing when the doctor told me the examination results, and I was in shock. I don't even know how I managed to get home. I wondered what I should say to Jane. She's definitely going to be shocked. I waited for my wife to come home, thinking about how I would deliver the news. Click. The sound of the key unlocking made me jump involuntarily. Jane looked at me. What? Why did you jump like that? How is the examination result? You don't have cancer, do you? She said with a concerned tone. Jane, calm down and listen. Half a year left to live. I said that to my wife, losing all sense of reason. Really? Half a year to live? Wow, that's it. That's it? Jane, who hates hospitals, should be crying and screaming, but contrary to what I expected, she looked happy. Something was wrong. Feeling this way, Hey Jane, do you know who has 6 months left to live? I asked. Then she responded, Who? It's you, Kevin, right? I can't believe you really have cancer. I can't believe you only have half a year to live. But to be honest, it's just perfect. Jane said this without a hint of an apology. I don't have cancer. What are you talking about? And what do you mean it was just perfect? Suspicious, I questioned my wife. I know you want to think you don't have cancer, but come on, just accept your fate. Actually, I was cheating on you. Honestly, it was just perfect. He just asked me to break up with you. And another thing, Jane had unabashedly exposed her affair. I almost fainted from the shock and anger of being betrayed by the wife I trusted. What? Are you angry? It can't be helped. I'll just say it now, but honestly, I married you for money. Such a wife continued even further. Being a teacher with a good salary and pension, your busy work schedule allowed me to have freedom, and it was convenient for me. And with that, she was done speaking. Was I the only one who thought we were a couple who respected each other? It was as if I had been hit over the head with a hammer when I was told my wife's true feelings for the first time. Now that I reflect on it, whenever I had a school event or end the semester rush and came home late, she would always find somewhere to stay or go out. I had no idea she was cheating on me. Besides, we thought that the one who could afford it most would be supporting the other. I paid most of the living expenses. This was because I had more income and I was older. All of this was because I believed in Jane. How dared she trample on my feelings? It's heartless of her to not show concern for a husband who has received a terminal diagnosis of only 6 months to live, and call it perfect. In fact, I was not the only one who was given the limited life expectancy. She didn't know that. I absolutely won't allow it. I've decided in my heart to take revenge on my wife. I'll use her misunderstandings and hide the truth. It's Jane's fault for not listening properly. I muttered this to myself. Jane, believing firmly that I only had 6 months left to live, no longer feels the need to accommodate me and does whatever she wants. Kevin, you have 6 months to live, so you don't need the money, right? You can use the money you save for traveling. No, I'll spend it. She spends the money we have saved together as she pleases. The thought of my hard-saved money, meant for a summer overseas trip with Jane, now being squandered on dates with her unfaithful partner, left me feeling nauseated. My wife, who should have been such a loving person, now just hates me. The next thing I know, Jane was no longer coming home. She's probably at her lover's place. I guess I was really just a money bag for Jane. I vaguely thought about such things. Jane came home for the first time in a month. What? You don't look gaunt at all. Hasn't it been a month since you were given your death sentence? How long will you live? She said that as soon as she saw my face. Couldn't you at least say something like, "Are you okay?" I accused my wife. I just want to be with him soon. Honestly, I can't wait until you're gone. What a terrible thing to say. I was in disbelief and speechless. Plus, she also noticed that I had bought a new pair of shoes I've been wanting for a while. Kevin, please don't waste money buying anything. My inheritance will decrease. But it's good that we don't have any children yet. If we had, my inheritance would have been divided in half, she said, laughing. In the end, she came home that day only to confirm whether I was still alive, and after saying what she wanted to say, she quickly returned to her lover. That night, I called my mother-in-law and told her everything. Hello, Mom? Did you receive the diagnosis? I'm sure it comes as a shock, but it's the truth. I started the conversation. Kevin, you called me. Her voice still carried a hint of sadness, as if the news was still sinking in. Jane's mother is a practical person and has always been kind to me. My heart hurts, but I opened up about the mistreatment I received from Jane. As I talked, my heart started to ache more. Kevin, I'm so sorry for the terrible things our selfish daughter has done. She never used to be like that, but I'm so stunned. I don't even know what to say. Her mother apologized on Jane's behalf. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know, she even told me. I had gained a strong ally in my quest for revenge against my wife. It's been 2 months since I was told the news about the remaining months left to live. We must hurry. I told Jane to come to my house this coming Sunday because I needed to talk to her. I asked her mother to come too. And on Sunday, Jane came over. She was surprised to see her mother at home as well. What's wrong, Mom? I mean, Kevin only has 6 months to live. Despite that, he seems to be in good spirits. She tried to joke with her mom, then she took a look in my direction. Kevin, how long are you going to live? Have you made sure to leave your assets behind? Stop pushing yourself to the brink. I'll be waiting, you know? She seems to be trying to insult me. Jane, you're really the worst. I don't want to be with you even for a second longer. Let's get a divorce. I started the conversation. I want to be free too by getting a divorce, but if we divorce before you go to the grave, I won't get my inheritance. That's why I'm going to wait for you to die, she yelled. I showed my wife my last will and testament and the envelope I had prepared. Even if we get a divorce, I've written a will so that my inheritance will still go to you. You wouldn't have to deal with the funeral arrangements after I'm gone. After we divorce, you'll be a stranger to me, so you don't have to do anything. When I said that, Jane's face lit up suddenly. Kevin, you're so considerate. Alright, let's get divorced. I'll gladly sign the divorce papers. And with that, she immediately filled out and signed the divorce papers. Everything's ready now. Jane, now that we're strangers, I'll file the divorce papers. That's okay, right? I asked her again. Of course, now that we're strangers, Jane said. Hearing those words, I held out a piece of paper in front of my wife. Take a good look at this. My wife looked at the paper I gave her with a quizzical look on her face. What? What do you mean? This is fake, she argued while slightly bothered. No, it's true. It's true. You're the one with 6 months left to live, I said, glaring at her even more. What are you saying? That's not possible, right? You're the one with cancer, right? There's no way I have cancer. She was in tears, but I pushed on. If you think I'm lying, why don't you ask your mom? Your mother just went to talk with me at the hospital the other day. My wife looked at her mother with pleading eyes. Jane, it's true. You only have half a year left to live. I heard everything from Kevin. How pitiful you are, Jane's mother said while staring at Jane. Jane, you understand, don't you? You have stomach cancer. It's an aggressive stomach cancer. You'll have to endure a lot of painful injections in the hospital that you hate so much, I said sarcastically. And also, you and I are strangers now. It'll be good for you to enter the hospital alone. As I was about to make the final blow, Jane responded, Don't say that, Kevin. We're a married couple. I hate the idea of being alone in the hospital, Jane said while breaking down in tears. What's with her attitude? Does she think she can get away with all the cruel things she said to me just because she's now crying? I won't allow it. Also, I'm going to sue you and your cheating partner for alimony, which you'll have to pay by the time you're admitted to the hospital, I said without relenting. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as alimony money. My wife's face turned pale. Suddenly, she had an idea. You and I aren't divorced yet. I didn't know I only had 6 months to live, so let's not get divorced, she said. I knew what Jane was going to say. I opened the will and showed it to my wife. I'm getting a divorce. You signed it just now. Besides, this will says that my inheritance will not go to you at all. In case anything should happen to me, you won't receive a penny of my inheritance, I said, revealing the truth. Oh no! My wife let out a pitiful sound. To put a few more final touches on it, I pressed play on my voice recorder. What I heard was, Kevin, you're a smart guy. I get it. Let's get a divorce. I'll gladly sign the divorce papers. It was Jane's voice. Jane turned blue. I'm sorry, but if you say the divorce is invalid, I'm going to use this as proof of our agreement, I said. I'll say it again. I'm a stranger to you now. I won't forget the cruel words you said to me. If you die alone in this world, goodbye forever. I told Jane off. After that, I immediately filed the divorce papers, and they were successfully accepted. Alimony was also formally requested through an attorney, with the wife paying $20,000 and the cheating partner paying $10,000. At first, Jane seemed reluctant to pay, but it seems her mother forced her to. The cheating partner was also reluctant to pay, fearing that his own employer would find out. They both got what they deserved. I'm surrounded by my adorable students and living my fulfilling life now. I hope to someday meet a good person and be able to have my own child. As for Jane, she was half-heartedly taken to the hospital by her mother and seems to be living a lonely life in the hospital. In addition, I heard that when Jane's lover found out that Jane only had 6 months left to live, he quickly dumped her. Today, Jane is undergoing medical treatment at the hospital that she hates, all by herself.